Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my graduation makeup look. I'm just going to start by saying I'm going to be a little off in this video. I'm going through a breakup right now. And I'm trying not to dwell on it, but move forward. So I've been meaning to film this video for like 2 weeks now, but I didn't know what I was going to do for my graduation. I kind of feel like it's so far away that it's never gonna come, but I've been in school for 5 years, so I mean, kind of makes sense there too. But I decided that I'm gonna, feel better about myself and fall in love with myself, and I just watched Jamie Page's breakup makeup video, and I have to move on. And so makeup has always been a therapy for me, like I've told you guys before, and so I decided that let me put this therapy into action. So let's just put on some makeup. Alright, I'm gonna start with eyes. I debated back and forth on what to do with my eyes, and I actually did this video yesterday, but someone was weed whacking the whole time. So I liked the way it turned out though, so I'm gonna be using this palette from Morphe. This is the 15N, and this is like, I feel like the most beautiful neutral palette, and I feel like it's perfect for everyday makeup. And I don't want to go too ham on my graduation makeup because I feel like in pictures my makeup doesn't always come out as great when I go like more ham because I have some hooded eyelids. So I'm just going to start by priming my lids and move on to the eyes. So let's zoom you guys in. Okay, to prime my lids today I'm going to be using this from Jouer. This is the Essential High Coverage Concealer, and I have the shade Creme. I had a friend of mine pick this up for me at Gen Beauty last year, and he didn't know my shade, and so I was online looking for it, and I thought that this, which was fair with cool undertones, was going to be my perfect shade, and it ends up that this is just a little dark. I don't know what it is when it comes to fair and cool undertones, but I feel like when I'm looking for concealers that have a cool undertone, they are pretty dark, and I feel like they either are really, really white or they are really, really dark. Like, even though this is now a little bit closer to my skin tone in the winter when I really wanted to use this, and right after I picked it up from Gen Beauty, it was way too dark for me. Like, this is just a little darker than my skin right now. So that's just a little complaint I have. I've been really struggling to find a great, concealer that fits me with a cool undertone that is still fair. I don't know, everyone who does fair really likes to do a yellow undertone, which, people with yellow undertones need concealer too, obviously. I just wish that people understood that people can be really fair and still have a cool undertone, I guess. I'm just setting this down with some Beauty Bakery flour powder. I just like to make sure there's no tugging when I run my finger over it, because if there's no tugging, then I have a smooth base for my makeup. Cool, so let's start on the actual makeup now. I'm going to take this brush from Luxe. I don't know where to get this brand. A friend of mine got it for me, and I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it, and I'm going to dip into this shade here, which is Selfie, and I'm just going to blend this into my crease and kind of all over my lid. It's going to be an all over wash of color. Okay, great. So we just have a wash of like an orangey brown on the lids here. And I'm only going to use one more shade. This is a 2-shade thing. There's a shade here called Goals, and I think it is just deep enough, but also still pulls on the warmer tones in the brown. And I'm going to just kind of start that on the outer corner and kind of like flick it, almost back flick it, and then put it into the crease, so that it should have like the lighter shade here and then the darker shade here and kind of transition in the middle. I did this yesterday. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it, but at the end of the day I thought it looked so cool. It's been a while since I've done a neutral look. Okay, so that is the eyeshadow portion of the eyes. I decided that I wanted to do a winged liner, which my graduation's at, I have to be there at 7 in the morning, like 7 a.m. Don't know why my school decided that morning graduation was the way to go, but they decided that it was. So I want to do a wing liner, but it's like either really good or really bad and there's no in between. But the only thing that I use for gel liner, but the only product I use for liner is this. It's from Pretty Vulgar. This is the ink in 01 The Blacklist. This is my favorite liner. I got this in a BoxyCharm and like I would honestly repurchase this. There's so much here. It's really easy to use. Like there's a lot of ease of use with it. But when it dries down, like it does not budge no matter what, and I love that. So let me just zoom this part up because I cannot do both on camera. Wow, turned out way better than I thought it was going to. So that is one wing. I just love the way that wing liner makes my eyes look. I find that I like to wing out my eyeshadow even if I don't use liner. And I don't typically like liner, but I like how it just makes my lashes look and my whole eye shape. So that's why I decided to try it. And let me tell you, this liner looks different than it did yesterday. And it will probably look different than it does on graduation day. But I am trying. Okay, so I don't even think I have to clean up my wings today, which is absolutely amazing. So we can just zoom you guys out and we can start on the face, I guess. Also, do you like my sweatshirt? It's from the Outer Banks. My parents brought it back when they went down there for their anniversary like 3 years ago. It is my comfy breakup sweater. So for primer, I'm going to use the Smashbox Primerizer because it is really cold where I have graduation and my skin is really, really dry. But also I just love how this makes my skin look. Like at the end of the day, my skin still looks super nourished and my makeup doesn't look cakey or anything. It's really great. I also did just get a little bit of sunburn. Went outside for like an hour the other day and, well, I'm not fair. I forgot to put on sunscreen. There was like a street fair and I really wanted empanadas. So I was like, come on, let's go guys. So like the whole family was going and I just neglected sunscreen. So I'm gonna have to put foundation on my shoulders like they're red. Okay, for foundation, I toyed with what to use because I have been using my Milani Conceal and Perfect mixed with my No Filter foundation from ColourPop, the one in the bottle. And I like that and I think it looks nice, but honestly, I think I'm going to use this. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick and I am in the shade 115, which is R230. Now this is a tad too dark for me right now, but my shoulders are red and tanning, so I feel like I'm okay to use this because I did get a bit of sun. My noses and cheek are still a little bit red, so I'm just going to drag this down my neck a little bit, but I love the finish on this, so I don't really mind being just a little bit too dark. Plus in photos, like you're not going to be able to tell. I just love how this looks on my face. And then I'm going to use a brush to buff this out. This is from Luxie. This is their 732 Airbrush Foundation Brush. One of my favorite foundation brushes of all time. And I'm just going to start swiping that into the skin. And dragging it down my neck a bit because like I said, it's just a little bit darker than my face. Really not that bad at all. But again, it's really hard to find like fair foundations with a cool undertone that aren't really, really red or really, really dark. I love how glowy this foundation is. I think it looks so freaking pretty. Beautiful. Okay, for concealer, I'm going to be mixing two concealers. I'm going to be mixing that one from Jouer in Creme with the Makeup Forever Ultra HD in 11 Pearl. This one is pretty much white and this one's like skin tone colored, so I like the formula on this and I like the formula on this, but this doesn't cover my dark circles very well and this one covers my dark circles really, really well. So I've been mixing the two and it kind of gives me less of a highlight, more of a like my face shade, and I kind of want that for graduation. I don't want a really highlighted face, so I've been putting the Jouer one right in my little eye bag area and letting that sit for a little bit, because that is going to cover up my darkness the most. And then I'll go in with the Makeup Forever one and kind of place it right atop it. See, I feel like even though it is still pretty highlighted on camera, in person, it's really very close to my foundation shade. And I think it looks so pretty, and it just balances out the fact that my foundation is a little bit darker because I blend it in, so you know. Now before I set this, I'm going to go in with my bronzer because I'm going to be using all cream products because I just love how natural they look. So I'm using this from Milk Makeup. This is their matte bronzing stick in the shade Baked. I really, really love this, and I was watching Mariah Leonard. She's one of my favorites here on YouTube, and I saw her apply it with a stippling brush very close to this, and I thought it just gave the most beautiful, like, naturally bronzed effect. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just taking some of this onto my brush, really working it into the bristles like she did, and then I will go and just start to very lightly bronze up my face. I feel like that's like so pretty and natural. I feel like that just gives such life back to my face. I really love this product, and even though I have a super fair skin, and this is kind of really almost orangey in undertone, it's definitely warmer, I don't find that it makes me look orange, you know? Bronzer. I feel so naturally bronzed. I feel like the stippling brush really does help make this not look, oop, keep forgetting how large this mirror is and then it keeps going out of focus. I really love using a stippling brush for bronzer because I feel like it just gives a really natural looking bronze. It doesn't necessarily look like makeup, but just like my skin is just bronzed there, you know? I did it again. I'm so sorry this palette's going to be in your face all video because I'm used to using a very tiny palette, but I love the mirror on this. For blush, I also wanted to use a cream product, which is why I haven't set my under eyes yet. The only cream blush I own is from Flower Beauty, but it's my favorite cream blush, so I'm like not mad about it. This is the Blush Bomb in the shade Pinched. It's a beautiful, natural, with a little bit of peach blush, and I think it is so incredibly stunning. I went through a phase my final semester at school where I literally just used this blush because I was wearing virtually no makeup. I'm gonna blend some with my finger, I think. I was wearing virtually no makeup because finals really had me very traumatized. I didn't have time to like wake up. I was just sleeping through all of my alarms, and I wasn't really worried about the makeup as much as like just getting the grades. So I was using this constantly, and look at it, just gives me like a very natural blush. And I think it plays with the bronzer really well because it's not like too pink or too peach. It works with the eyes, it works with the bronzer, it works with everything, and it's just such a pretty dewy blush, so it makes me look naturally dewy. I have very dry skin, so that is kind of really hard to do. So I've just been loving that blush, and I think I will apply it with my fingers on the day of because it just looks so pretty. So I'm actually going to finally set my eyeballs now, and I'm going to just take my sponge and just undo the under eye creases that I have. Also, letting my concealer sit for a bit longer helps with the covering up of the dark circles, I feel. So I do like to leave it sometimes. I'm just taking some of that Beauty Bakery powder again and just going to set it. And only in the areas where I really need to. So right underneath this eye bag here. That's all I set. Because I have a lot of creasy eye bags. I have some creasy eye bags. Hey, I feel so fresh is the word I'm looking for. Then I'm going to take a powder bronzer. This one is from Becca. This is their Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Bali Sands, and it looks like this, which is, again, a perfect bronzer shade for me. It's the fairest you can get, but it is just so great. I'm just going to do a light contouring of my nose. Just to give it a little something. I usually don't, you know. It's graduation day. It only happens one time in my life. All right, I'm going to zoom in and finish on my eyes, and then we'll put on some highlight later. All right, I'm back. I'm going to finish up the eyes first and probably do my brows off camera. I'm just using the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I just cannot, for the life of me, do my brows on camera. So we're going to go back into that Morphe palette here, and we're going to take the two shades here. I'm going to kind of mix them together. I'm taking another brush from that Luxe collection, and I'm going in first with Goals. This is weird not using the same mirrors in the palette. And I'm just going to run that super duper close to my lash line and start to like blend it out there. And then I'm just going to go in with that first shade, which is called Selfie. I'm going to kind of drag that along so we have this nice orangey eye here. Fun fact, when I first started putting on makeup, I only put like orangey neutrals on my eyeballs. I don't know why, but it was like my signature thing. Everyone knew that I'd come in with like orange eyes. So when I started experimenting with color, I really haven't gone back to orange since, even though I still really like how it looks with my hazel eyes. Like, I really like how this looks. I don't typically like gravitate toward orange as much. I really am a purple person now. Never thought I'd be that person either. Okay, so I'm actually going to put in some eyeliner before I go off, and wow, that was such a New Jersey dialect. Go off. Before I go off and do my eyebrows. So I'm just taking this from Essence. This is the Extreme Eye Pencil in Silky Nude 06. I've had this for years. I don't usually go through eyeliners, but I have been really going through this. It's my favorite nude. I'm just going to put it in the waterline just to brighten my eyes a little bit more. Again, it's going to be 7 o'clock and we're real sleepy. See, I feel like I just look a little bit more awake, and I'm going to need that. Alright, I'm going to step off and do my eyebrows, and I will come back and we'll finish up the face. I got brows again. Alright, let's just finish up this look. I'm going to take the shade, what is this? Unique from the palette. It's this just soft champagne-y shimmer shade, and I'm just going to pop this on the inner corners of my eyes and kind of give it an intense inner corner pop if I can. I will say the one thing I hate about using this gel liner is that I have a lot of lashes right here on the corner, and it has a tendency to pick up like the lashes and like stick them to my liner. So for mascara today, I'm not going to be using falsies or anything. I don't know how to put on falsies, as we've all realized at this point. I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Flourish. Oh god, say that twice. Lash Blast Flourish. Last Blash, what? The Flourish one. I love this. It has avocado in it and all that, but that's not why I love it. I love it because of the wand, which is, you know, spiky and rubbery, and that is my favorite kind of wand. I don't really like bristles. I like ones that will just take my lashes and just separate them. And I feel like even though this, when I first open it, this is a pretty natural mascara, as it dries out, I can build this up to be very volumizing, very lengthening. Like, look at how good that looks. I feel like I don't really need falsies with that because it just really lengthens the crap out of my lashes while giving it just a hint of volume. So that is what the eyes look like complete. I think it looks great. I'm probably going to put a second coat on this eye because my lashes has really been struggling on that eye. I don't know why. It goes through phases. Let me just... Nope, it's still not dry. I'm gonna wait till this dries and then peel it off. These lashes go through phases of being super long and then being super not long. These are my queen lashes recently. So I'm just gonna do everything else and then put a second coat on later. So back on to the face. For highlighter, I'm going to use this from ColourPop in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. This is her On the Cusp highlighter, and I have recently fallen in love with this again. It is this really pretty champagne-y shade, and I love the formula of the Super Shock cheeks, and this is just super, super blinding. So I feel like I don't need a lot of it to look just dewy and fresh. And I want to be able to see my highlighter in the photos, so that's important to me. I'm going to drag it up onto the brow bone here, just with my finger. I feel so much better when I put makeup on. Jamie Page Beauty is right. I'll be okay. For lips, I debated on lips for a while too because I feel like using a liquid lipstick, it fades really strangely, and I know the ceremony is like 2 hours long, and then if I want to reapply it, it's like a whole hassle to take it off. So I decided to use just a gloss. So I'm taking the ColourPop Lippy lippy pencil in the shade Aquarius. This is again in collaboration with Kathleen Lights. We know I love her. And I'm just gonna line my lips with this. And then I'm gonna fill it in as well. I think that gives such a nice, just pink look to my face, and I feel like it complements, again, my eyes. And then I'm going over with the ColourPop gloss in the shade Fantasia. Okay guys, so this is the completed look for graduation. I wasn't really excited before I started this video for graduating. Like I said, it just feels like weird. I've been in school for 5 years and I've been out of school since January, even though I directed that show. So it's just weird to go back and get my diploma. I don't know, I feel really strange about starting my next chapter in my life, and I don't know where I'm going yet. I just know that I love doing makeup. I like doing YouTube. I love history. I love acting. I love directing, and I'll figure something out along the way. But I guess graduating makes me realize that it's like here. My future is here, and I have to start taking it seriously and loving myself and putting myself out there and doing everything that terrifies me. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for chatting, letting me chat at you, you know, going through this makeup look. I, again, think this is just the perfect look for graduation, and I cannot wait to see where my life takes me and where I take myself on life. So thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to. I'm sorry if this was a little negative or I'm not as high energy as I usually am, but like I said, I'm gonna get through it. So I'll see you in my next video.